We are live, we are live, we are live. Welcome back to Talk Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another week. Yes, let me go full cam here. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Sorry for the delay. We have a few, as you see, uh, technical difficulties that we had to overcome, but we finally got there, ladies and gentlemen. We did finally get there. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. No NBA, no NFL, and yeah, so it's just hockey night, and there's a tournament. So it's a very, very light sports night, to be fair and frank. But we are back here live on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, unless you like Champions League. And even that would be, yeah, for the very, very few in this part of the world. But thank you very much for joining me Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get into it. Yes. Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, the one that brought everybody to the red pill, quite simply, especially those of African American diaspora descent. Yes, he is seen by a hero to many, including myself. I would have not known about the red pill if I did not hear about Kevin Samuels and his revolutionary take on relationships, on family, on marriage, on on hypergamy, and all such things thereunder. But again, he's a hero to me and many millions out there, not only here but around the world. But recently, it came to my attention, especially last Friday, that one of the content creators that I quite simply call upon on a lot of occasions, and I tend to agree with and tune into on a regular basis. Fresh and Fit called out Kevin Samuels recently, and it has to be fair. It was done with some disparaging remarks. It wasn't exactly a classy call out. So we're going to explore that tonight on Talk Talk Live and see if these allegations are indeed true, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right into it. We're not going to waste any more time as this has been delayed. So we're gonna get right into it right away, ladies and gentlemen. First up on the list, let me just get back into the browser. Bang. And first up on the list, here we go, is I will let truth. I will let my man, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, he's doing wonderful things on YouTube Streets, up to about 800,000 subscribers, recently released a new video for himself about, what's it, Drizzle. If you have a chance to look at it on YouTube, please do. But Mediocre Tutorial Reviews here on Talk Talk Live, doing wonderful things in YouTube Streets. He was a devotee of Kevin Samuels, a man who knew Kevin Samuels well, and he took umbrage to what Fresh and Fit had to say. But so let's get into it quite simply and quite quickly as we do here on Talk Talk Live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Dun Talk, DUNTALK. Let's get into this.
For his recent comments in regards to the late Kevin Samuels. I want to give you guys my perspective. Kevin is not here right now to speak out for or defend himself. So I'm going to give my perspective of the reality of the conversation, because history will not be revised on my watch. The truth will be accurate. So let's talk about it. Without further ado, for quick context, this is a live stream conversation on the Fresh and Fit platform. There was a bunch of content creators up there. They were talking about the fall of the manosphere and solutions for it, but there was also a specific topic about the black manosphere. Myron postures something in regards to Kevin. Let's watch.
One thing, right?
Just before Myron gets into this and launches into this, ladies and gentlemen, it must be said that, I had a look at this video last week. And again, this is an assembly of Red Pill content creators. As you can see, if you did not know, there's Michael Sartain, there's MLD, there's Angry Man, there's Roland Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. Also on this panel was Donovan Sharp. And they all wanted to, congregate together, build with each other, try and gain a base at least, and try to meet at least twice a month in order to, speak on the red pill, speak on different issues, and try to gain each and try to grow each other's subscription and subscribers and and followers, quite simply. And so that was the reason for this meeting, and this happened last Friday. So during this meeting, it was as Mediocre Tutorial Reviews has already explained, Myron launches into this kind of scathing critique of Kevin Samuels himself and what he did not do during his late illustrious life. Let's go into it.
And I really dislike to even say this, but the truth is the truth, and I kind of have to say it. The reason why the Black Manosphere died, right, is simply because Kevin Samuels didn't put his people on.
The reason that an entire community of content creators or things that they talk about died is because the man that was seen as the head of it didn't put his people on. Let's listen a little bit more.
I'm going to be honest about it. He became famous. He blew up. He didn't, extend the ladder back and put his guys on, and it died. That's just what happened.
Sure.
Once he got into, into the mainstream, he didn't bring anybody up with him. And that's the cold hard truth. I hate to say that shit, but it's wild. And, for us, we adopted a little bit of different mindset.
As you can see, NLD is not exactly impressed with what Myron here from Fresh and Fit has to say. Let's continue.
Where we're going to blow up and we're going to bring everybody up that came alongside us. And
I'm going to let him speak, but understand the context of the conversation. This is not, they were friends and they were collaborators and they were planning on doing good work in the future. They were ops. Kevin did not bang with the Fresh and Fit platform, and Fresh and Fit did not bang with Kevin. Now, to get into the history of why that happened, we don't have time.
Now, again, this is very, very revealing because Kevin Samuels did some viral work. Meaning 1 million views on certain appearances he made on Fresh and Fit, and we thought that everything was copacetic between them. But it seems that Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit did not like each other. They saw each other as ops. They saw each other as enemies. They saw each other as opponents. They saw each other because, as will be heard later, they went head to head in certain capacities. Let's continue.
I'm here within the scope of this conversation, within the content, because I want to address his specific points about it all falling and crumbling because Kevin did nothing to bring others up with him, which is categorically incorrect. But it's not coming from a perspective of friendship. They were ops. They were not cool. And in fact, Kevin was creating studios down in Miami to directly compete with Fresh and Fit. But let's hear a little bit more of his thoughts, and then let's get back active.
Now, that is a revelation. Now, that is not known by many, and a person such as MTR, who was a good friend of Kevin Samuels and kind of saw MTR as his protege, he revealed that revelation that indeed Kevin Samuels was going to go head to head against Fresh and Fit, and do so at a Miami studio because Kevin Samuels at one time broadcasted out of Atlanta. And with that, there wasn't any direct competition. But it was planned that Kevin did some simulcast in the Miami area, coming near to the end of his life. And it was his plan. It looked like from MTR's indication that he was about to, indeed, contend with Fresh and Fit on their turf in Miami. All right, and again, sorry about that. And it was intended that Kevin Samuels was going to contend with Fresh and Fit in Miami as a direct competitor, and that was not known by many. So shout out to MTR for revealing that truth, that assertion. By that Kevin Samuels was planning to be a up close and personal op against Fresh and Fit. Let's continue.
I've seen, everyone go off on their own and, build really successful independent channels. Everyone here is well over 100,000, where, before that was unheard of in the manosphere.
Now, what's interesting is that he talks ill of Kevin of not bringing other content creators forward, but you just said that there's other content creators that are tied to you that have independently built up their own platforms. Now, would you be pulling people on your platform, Myron, if they haven't individually built up a community of people beforehand? Would you or would you not? Let's keep going.
Right?
So, it looks like MTR is not exactly well pleased with that, and it is a valid point that he makes about valid point he makes to Myron in that. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that these guys had 100,000 subscribers, would he associated with these people in the first place? Let's continue.
So, I think from this point forward, right, sticking together and doing periodic podcasts like this, where guys are able to comment on culture, current events, etc., because things are changing rapidly. Every year, something new is going on, right? 2020, it was a TikTok boom. 2021, it was a pandemic and dealing with that. 2022, oh shit, Trump is going to run again. Like, every year, there's like a new thing going on. And the thing is with the red pill, it's not just women. It's the truth in general, right? You can apply it to so many different endeavors. So that's what I noticed was, the one thing on the Kevin Samuels legacy that I wish he did was put on his people, and he simply didn't.
It's absolutely wild.
Before he launches into his critique of what Myron had to say, and again, as you clearly heard, he's not exactly impressed with what Myron had to say. Angry Man, just a point of reference, Angry Man was not exactly a friend of Kevin Samuels either, and they did not see eye to eye on many points, thinking that Angry Man thought that Kevin Samuels, well, basically came into the manosphere and took his shine away, and especially the black manosphere, and took his shine away, blowing up to levels that Angry Man, who I watch on occasion, and he has very good content. Subscribe to Angry Man, and took shine away from Angry Man, and what could have been. But again, Kevin was a star unto himself. So anything that came to him to his benefit, he truly worked for and was truly and was ably a beneficiary of, simply because of his talent. But letting MTR continue.
To me, that no one is up here challenging the things that he's saying in order to give perhaps a different perspective, but I think that there's incentives not to. And this is actually part of the reason of why I try to keep to myself as much as possible and just create, because I actually agree with Myron there when he's talking about that there's a lot of things changing. We need community, we need a team, absolutely. But I do think as a content creator that there's inherent bias for you to not speak up or against someone that you collaborate with if you vehemently disagree with the bullshit, or at least not publicly address it. But now your image gets caught up in the things that they are saying, just like the images of everyone up here is being caught up for not calling out or chastising the things that he is saying. Nevertheless, let's address the elephant in the room.
And remember, Donovan Sharp was not a part of, was a part of this telecast, and, I guess chose not to speak on this subject. He was omitted from this talking point at that time, and I was wondering why indeed he was, but I think he was it would have compromised him because he did know Kevin Samuels well. He did see him as a sort of mentor, inviting him many times to his platform, Donovan Sharp, and having words with him. But we'll have more on that a little later. But I'll let MTR continue.
Being that Kevin did nothing to bring back up others up on his platform is categorically untrue. I won't even speak about all the content creators, at least right now, that he spoke about, but let's just take me for an example. Kevin shouted me out on his platform an uncountable amount of times, and in fact, you're going to see comments right below this video of people saying that they found my channel out after watching KS. And
that is absolutely true, yes. MTR was indeed, I found out about MTR through Kevin Samuels. I found out about O'Shea Duke Jackson through Kevin Samuels. I found out about the lead attorney through Kevin Samuels. I found out about Donovan Sharp through Kevin Samuels. And indeed, I found out about Fresh and Fit through Kevin Samuels. So he's absolutely right about that. So with that, let us say that Kevin Samuels did indeed have a community that he did bring up while he was on top of his game and blowing up in the black manosphere and also mainstream. So let it be said that he was not a man who was a monolith unto himself. Let's continue.
And I never asked for a shout out. I never paid for him to mention me or anything odd like that. It all just came from him understanding my brand, what it was that I was trying to offer from a entertainment or education perspective. And he decided to call me out. Also, let me bring this up as well. He actually had a whole stream where the name of my channel was the topic. Let me bring it up. For all of those that may forgot, this is actually still active on his channel, but he called the stream mediocre at best. Sound familiar? And while obviously this is a playoff of his average at best viral video, he utilized first name on my channel and was quoted multiple times within this saying that modern women today might need some mediocre tutorials and reviews. And I even said it down up in here. You'll see this comment from 3 years ago. Fantastic stream. And I appreciate the references. Shout out to the Godfather. And what you guys don't know about this is that Kevin actually reached out to me via DMs. It was one of the first times that he ever reached out to me. And he said, hey, I want to use your title name within the stream tonight. You cool with that? And at the time, I was like, hell yeah, if you want to utilize my ish. I throw it up on stream right now, but I think it'd be tacky for me to show DMs between Kevin and I during that time. But he ain't have to do this. He ain't have to leave my comment out for people to go up, click on my profile and see what I am about. Shit, he also shouted me out when I had cancer. And he ensured that when he wanted to reach back to work with others to continue on pushing the brand forward, to get it in front of people's eyes that would not normally look at this content, he did. I have content with Kevin that's on the channel. Shit, he planned an entire trip where we went to Brooklyn to go visit the Zuniga brothers in order to look at their operations. Because the things that the Teaching Men's Fashion brothers are doing for their community, the Latino community, is absolutely insane. So to be able to leverage what they have created as a byproduct of what can be created for majority black audience, he was getting us in front of those people to learn. And I appreciated him for that. Oh.
So again, he is I remember that MTR, and not only MTR, Dennis Sperling, another content creator he helped bring forward. Dennis Sperling, well, he was one of his clients in terms of matchmaking that whereby Dennis Sperling was one of the matchmaking clients that Kevin Samuels had, and in which he found Dennis Sperling's future wife on his platform. So again, it is true that Mediocre Tutorial Reviews lead attorney and also Dennis Sperling all went to New York to learn from the Zuniga brothers. So that is true. That is exactly true, and it was documented on Kevin's channel, because I did remember that. And so again, another example of how indeed he brought people forward. So I think it's a bit of a misrepresentation there by Myron, indeed, to call out Kevin Samuels after his passing, when he did not. He did bring people forward, and not just himself. And so that is a bit of a stretch of the truth, if not an outright denial of the truth. To be fair, let's continue.
Opening up an opportunity to be able to learn and informing the beginnings of a team in order to try to help push these ideologies forward that were not brand risk. And there's so many other things that I could mention, but it wasn't just me either. Shout out to the lead attorney, who not only did a one-on-one conversation with Kevin that Kevin posted to his channel, but similar to me, Kevin would often call TLA just to have conversations about the things that are happening within the space. So no, Myron, there were content creators that he selected to bring forward. It just wasn't you. But there were those that he did associate with within his past that just weren't ready, or they did not have the appropriate professional image to carry the torch forward. That may be...
Wow, it's a bit of a shot there by MTR, because to be fair, that is a direct hit against Fresh and Fit, calling them unprofessional and not worthy of Kevin's time and energy. Yeah, it's wow. Well, you know, you'll see later that he did do work with Fresh and Fit did do work with Kevin Samuels and gave them some of their earlier viral moments. To be fair, but he never saw any worth in working with them. Kevin Samuels, as was revealed here, as will be revealed by Osei Juke Jackson in due course. But yeah, it's a bit of a a bit of a shot across the bow by MTR against the likes of Fresh and Fit for that commentary, saying that they were unprofessional and not worthy of Kevin's time and wisdom. Let's continue.
Hard for you to understand, but apparently, after looking at the history of what's happened over the past 2.5 years since he's passed, Kevin was absolutely correct. The people that were seen as the leaders of this movement have appropriately squandered whatever listening ears that we would have had in order to really impact change. And I'm not trying to say that I've been done the best at it myself, but I guarantee you, if Kevin was still alive, his channel would still be monetized. Shit, it's still monetized right now. And it's because the way that he did it with that degree of professionalism. If you take a look at, for example, outside of all of this, if you try to capture an audience and you have more of a Jerry Springer-esque, or what can be described as that, as the way that you do content, via, you have like, let's say a Judge Judy, and let's say that the goal of each of those is to do DNA tests, where you're going to get a lot different audience if you do it in a Jerry Springer fashion as opposed to a Judge Judy fashion. Different type of audience, different type of listening ears, different type of ad sponsors. To introduce something as robust as what Kevin was attempting to introduce, you have to be surgical. You can't go in like an atom bomb in the mainstream and act like that's going to be the way to really impact change. No.
Yes, a well put point there by MTR again. Yes, indeed. That is one thing that Kevin Samuels was very renowned for, not more so than Fresh and Fit. Where Fresh and Fit goes at things with a sledgehammer, yes, indeed. Yes, Kevin Samuels went at things with a cadaver. Sorry, not a cadaver, with a surgical knife, and he carved his niche, and indeed, it allowed for him to stay monetized, talking about very controversial topics. And it allowed him to reach out to women for the most part, and he was bringing women along. Women were starting to listen to Kevin Samuels by the time he died. The majority of women didn't want to know because they were still in their they were still in delusion and still hypergamous and not believing what Kevin had to say. But a lot of women were starting to listen to Kevin upon his death, and that's the one regret that I indeed had for Kevin, is the fact that he couldn't complete his mission. And I believe that he would have healed a lot of the divide between black men and black women if he was still alive. And I believe that he would have increased the amount of women who had to listen to him. I would say a good half, if not majority, of women would be listening to Kevin Samuels today if he were still alive. That is the reach that Kevin was beginning to have, and I saw that myself. And that's something that Myron, unfortunately, even though he is, he has things to say and he is very entertaining in saying it, and a lot of these things are plausible, and he's very, he's a great debater against women, and it doesn't hold women really don't hold a candle to him, but he's very much a man who used a sledgehammer instead of a knife when it comes to dealing with women, and he would he would usually dismiss the women in a very cold and callous way, and that's his style. Not to take anything from it. It's very entertaining, but at the end of the day, there are two different audiences, as MTR said. Those who agree with a Jerry Springer type way of doing things, and those who agree with a Judge Judy type way of doing things. In that, and Judge Judy to this day is a phenomenon when it comes to daytime TV. And I think Kevin Samuels would have easily been that were he still alive. Let's continue.
Oh, it has to be surgical. Kevin understood that.
He simply did it. It's just the truth, and it sucks. Maybe he didn't have enough time. Maybe that was the plan before he passed away. I know that he had something going on, but what I will say is when he did those Nicki Minaj collabs, when he did those big events, there was no shout out to anybody from the Sphere.
It's a categorical lie. Kevin actually shouted me out on Vlad TV after I did the Shahrazad Ali interview. He shouted me out. And I remember him DMing me that he shouted me out after he did the Vlad interview. I think the interview came out several weeks later. But this is just not true. And I'm sure there's other content creators that will have their own example. Shit, there's other content creator, I believe his name, Obsidian, who became a millionaire after Kevin shouted out his books. So this is just categorically false. And for anyone who just eats this information,
indeed, another person who Kevin Samuels didn't shout it out was Obsidian. He was very much a contributor on most of his shows. Helped Obsidian gain and rise in terms of prominence. I don't know how he's doing right now, but yeah, Kevin Samuels did help build his platform, help build his brand, help build his music, and so again, he's another example of who Kevin Samuels helped to aggrandize through his his backing, quite simply. I was looking for the word, but through his backing, through his tutelage, through his advocation for these for other different channels. So again, another reason why Myron has to take an L on this one. Let's continue.
You should know the truth. So again, it's so wrong, it's ridiculous, and at this point, I don't even know why he keeps on bringing up Kevin's name. Let the man rest. But when you understand that Kevin couldn't stand these guys, then you understand where this may be coming from.
And it kills me because like a guy like Donovan Sharp platformed him like 80 times, and he never shouted him out. And I always was like, what the hell? Right? And I was like, we're not going to do that. So I think, we absolutely need to stand united and do periodic shows like this. I know.
All right. So this is actually when he addresses on his own channel, he's addressing the comments after it started to blow up. And he brought up another content creator by the name of Donovan Sharp. And you may not be familiar with him. But Kevin's not alive again to speak for himself. But let me try to think through this. Kevin's brand was mostly popularized within Black media, where Kevin would ride for fixing things that were wrong within the Black community while also giving strength and power to men. But Kevin was for relationships. He was for marriages. He was for bringing people together. Now imagine if he shouted out Donovan and then they go over to Donovan's platform and they hear Donovan saying things such as black is this, black is that. Now, I don't know if he still talks like that, but if your expectation is that because you work with somebody, collaborated, what did he say, 80 times or something like that, for free, unpaid, whatever, just your time, is your expectation is that now because you've done that, now I have to be able to put you on? People would question Kevin's narrative or motives if someone that he puts on is speaking that negatively about the people that he's trying to put together for healthy relationships. I don't even think Donovan would disagree on that. I can understand Donovan being upset after collaborating with him for so much, but if you take a step back and you look at what Kevin was trying to accomplish, I think it would make a lot more sense.
Well, again, I'll try to put a synopsis, try to condense what MTR had to say. Was Kevin didn't take for Donovan Sharp, who is another Red Pill content creator. He didn't take for the fact that Donovan Sharp did not have an acute love of Black women. He married a white woman himself. He always criticized Black women and saw them as being inferior mates to Black men. And the same could be said about Myron, to be fair. To be fair and frank, he does. Now, there are certain truths that he puts forth about Black women that I cannot deny. But the one thing that is true that Myron has a distaste for Black women in and of itself. Not so much Fresh, but definitely Myron. Fit, that is, definitely has a sort of a distaste for Black women. He sees them as not being, as being the worst type of mate for men, period. And the same goes for Donovan Sharp. And I think that's what Kevin Samuels was displeased about. He did not like the fact that Myron put down Black women. and consider them the worst, because what Kevin Samuels really wanted, in actual, in truth and in perpetuity, was black women and black women coming together. He was all about that. Every show. That's why he had a matchmaking group in which black women and black male professionals would get together, and he would want to bring together the confident, intelligent, assertive black men with the fit, beautiful, and inspirational black women, and bring them together and see if black families could be a result. And he very, very much was against any other race of women coming in and trying to assert themselves with black men, even though a lot of women came on Kevin Samuels' show. A lot of white women and women of other races came on Kevin Samuels' show in order to see if they could get any inside knowledge on how to capture and seduce a black man, and in and of itself. But Kevin was very, very much against that. And I think that's the reason there was a schism between himself and Donovan Sharp. And at the end of the day, he was displeased at what Donovan Sharp had to say about black women, and very much displeased at what Myron had to say about black women as well. Let's continue.
Logically speaking, and I can imagine what Myron would say. All this, everyone's free speech till I die, motherfuckers. That. You could get mad at the platform and the powers that be all that you want. But again, if you're trying to make this amount of change within the world, you have to be surgical, strategic. For example, Kevin got a lot of backlash for appearing to go easy on Nicki Minaj when it was brought up on that platform. But do you think Kevin cared about that? No. Kevin wanted...
And also Brittany Renner. He was very, very much criticizing how he handled Brittany Renner. Knowing what she was about, and knowing that she was indeed, she wasn't exactly the best of individuals to be with, long term, to put it nicely. But Kevin was indeed very, very much, he was very cordial, very very conversational, very complimentary I wouldn't say complimentary of these women, but he tried to show these women a different way, such as Nicki Minaj, such as Brittany Renner. Try to show them a different way and how to conduct themselves. And I really think if he was still alive today, then Brittany Renner would not be the lady she is today. And I think that the likes of Nicki Minaj would indeed come to see what Kevin had to say. Let's continue.
To get in. Why? Because Kevin wanted her audience. Go in there, speak to them a little bit more of how they used to be spoken to. That's strategic. You go in there, you start popping off about how stupid or ridiculous some of their mindsets or ideologies are. You think that's going to make change or get them to listen to the things that you're saying? Be the free speech titan that you want to be. Just don't expect everybody to rock with it. Let's go.
Excellent point raised there by MTR. Yes, indeed. Kevin wanted Nicki Minaj's audience. Nicki Minaj has millions upon millions of followers on every platform, from YouTube to TikTok to Instagram and Kevin wanted entree into that audience, and that's why he had to be, a little more, how should I say, complimentary. I would say a little more erudite in the way he had about things, a little more conciliatory, and a little more peaceful in his rhetoric with Nicki Minaj in order to reach out to her and her audience, so that she could be a devotee of him in due course. And he's trying to bridge, to build bridges with people who dislike the black manosphere, if not the manosphere / the red pill, and not like Myron, who is take it or leave it sort of individual, who I respect, but I see there you get more using honey than vinegar, and Myron unfortunately is very much a vinegar devotee. Let's continue.
I got a little bit of controversy for saying what I said about you know, Kevin Samuels. But dude, it's true, man. It's true. Like, you look at someone like Donovan Sharp, right? Donovan Sharp had him on like 70 times, guys. For those of you that don't know,
and then he stopped going.
Sharp Reality. Donovan Sharp's been running that show since like 2016. Like, I think he's at like 1,000 episodes now at this point. He's had Kevin on like 70 times. I didn't know who Kevin was until I saw him with Donovan Sharp. He never shouted Donovan out. Never had him on his show when he blew up. You know what I mean? Louis Ras O'Shea, he never had him on, even though the nigga sits there and defends him all day. Never had him on. You know what I mean? So facts are facts, bro. I'll never. And then you say, oh, well, he came on your shit. Yeah, that was before he was like super big. You know what I mean? That was before he was super big. Remember, guys, and another thing too, little thing for you guys, for people that don't know. Fun fact.
It's actually odd because by the time that Kevin came on Fresh and Fit the first time, they were referring to him as the Godfather. So he's saying he's not super big, but by then, I think Average at Best already happened. And he also talked through how O'Shea didn't get put on his platform, and they were working together behind scenes. O'Shea had his team editing a lot for Kevin. But nevertheless, I'm pretty sure that he mentioned O'Shea at least one time, but it doesn't matter. O'Shea's probably going to...
I can say that he mentioned O'Shea many times. I can assure you of that. Kevin always reached out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, not just once, many times, and I was there on his shows from beginning to end, and he mentioned O'Shea Duke Jackson many times. Talked about his time in Poland trying to be a doctor. Talked about him moving to Africa and being proud of a man like O'Shea Duke Jackson. So believe me, he mentioned O'Shea Duke Jackson many times. The only and unfortunately, the problem was that, you know, when Fit Myron speaks ill of those who do not rock with him, including MTR, including O'Shea Duke Jackson, but he will speak well of those that who did not exactly rock with Kevin Samuels, but yet are aligned with him, including Donovan Sharp. And we already discovered why Donovan Sharp, was treated with a barge pole over time, and MTR went into it, and the fact that he disparaged black women. He did, and he married a white woman himself. He did not take kindly to the way that Myron treated black women. Simple as Myron and Donovan Sharp treated black women. That's why he chose to distance himself from the two. Let's continue.
React to this so he can let you know his perspective. But blaming the Black Manis for falling because Kevin didn't put whoever you thought that he should get put on just feels like some victim ass shit. People should be able to stand on their own too, with or without a call out from the top content creators. Would Donovan Sharp even consider himself within the Black Manosphere?
Fun fact for you guys. When Kevin Samuels was going viral for saying you're average at best.
Okay.
Do you guys know that he was in Miami when he was blown up on World Star?
Yeah, he was.
He was in Miami. When he did the show with us, he had just done that episode. And then he came to Miami. He had booked the interview with us before he blew up. This is all facts. Because I remember vividly, I'll never forget this shit. After we did the show, we went to CVS.
Okay.
And he got some Mike and Ike's. And I remember this because he got the red hot chili, the spicy ones, and I thought that was weird. Like, I was like, holy crap! I didn't know people eat Mike and Ike's, let alone the spicy flavor.
Old school black dudes eat Mike and Ike's.
And Mike and Ike's spicy, right?
That's wild.
And I remember when I was walking with him the whole time, he was checking his phone the whole time. Oh man, we're blowing up. Oh man, and I was watching his Instagram blow up.
Yeah,
he had 20K guys. When he came on our show, I'll never get this shit. He had like 20K. Like a day or two later, a week later, he had 1 million, or like a couple 100,000. He had 20,000 around the time he did the interview with us, Chap.
Okay.
And he was blowing up that day because he had just done that interview.
Yep. World Star.
So
shout out to World Star.
Yeah. Yeah, he was eating Mike's.
So what does he prove?
Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, man. Like I said, I'm not gonna speak ill of the deceased.
You are,
but you know, bro, the truth is the truth, man.
The truth is, he is speaking ill of the dead. To be fair, yeah, to say that he didn't bring people forward, he's being proven wrong here. Let's continue.
What did that prove?
You know what I mean? Like, he's always gonna go down history. He's still the Godfather, right? I don't got anything negative to say about him, you know, but the truth is the truth, man. And I want to make sure that before I pass, you know, I'm able to help out my guys as much as I can, if that ever happens, right? I don't want to just leave and, you know, people aren't where they need to be. Like, I want all my friends to win. I want anyone that has worked with Fresh and Fit in the past, in the red pill space, we're going to bring you guys up too. Because if they blow up and they surpass us, great. Then we could go work with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's a W for everybody. Like, you look at, like, Andrew Tate, right? Andrew blew up. And, you know, he didn't retract the ladder. He still works with us. He still talks, you know, Shots to South talks about us and stuff like that.
To be fair, Kevin Samuels walked so that Andrew Tate could run. I love Andrew Tate. I like what he has to say. But that's the truth. Kevin Samuels walked so that Andrew Tate could run.
So, you know, that's what it's about, man. It's about...
Kevin retracted the ladder from you because y'all started to beef. Now, he's previously admitted to calling Kevin the F word behind scenes. And also, it was very odd to me that he's conveniently forgetting one of the first ways that Fresh and Fit went viral was through Kevin Samuels' participation. And I know this because I did a reaction off of it. Now, my reaction video got almost 1 million goddamn views at the time. But it was when Kevin called into the show to address these women that Fresh and Fit had in the studio. Now, the title that I had for this video is Kevin Samuels Demolishes Feminists While Uplifting Men. This debate from Fresh and Fit is masterful.
Phyllis Schlafly, she was on our side. When all this stuff came in, feminism, second wave, feminism, I'm a feminist. I believe in feminism. Feminism is about choice.
So you really
Excuse me, ma'am. Feminism in its true form is about choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice right now.
You have a choice.
And within this conversation, you actually had one of the people that was in the current live stream, as well as Donovan Sharp as well. And I think this is also the stream where Kevin said the famous words, "After your OnlyFans account, Subway will be hiring." Now, this video up on their channel got millions and millions and millions of views. But did he have to call in to collaborate with you guys? And because of which you got millions and millions of views, millions and millions of eyes. But where is this in your description that he didn't collaborate or help anybody? Anyway, this video...
So, yes, indeed. Yeah, MTR is absolutely correct. This, indeed, helped launch Fresh and Fit as a platform. The concept of having women on the panel and having a call-in show and such, yes, indeed, that was a Fresh and Fit model to which other people, such as Whatever Podcast, took directly from Fresh and Fit. However, they would not be at the level they are without Kevin Samuels going on air with them and debating these women themselves. The Godfather was absolutely surgical to these women, to the point where you saw women started walking off because they didn't want to debate the man because they had nothing else to say. They had nothing else in which they could launch back in retort to what Kevin had to say. And indeed, it's like MTR said, when OnlyFans ends, Subway's always hiring, and it's true. A lot of these ladies, you know, who are talentless, who lack any sort of skill in and of itself, will go through some service industry which is dominated by women in order to make it in the world, and that is absolutely right. And yeah, but again, the main thing about this is Fresh and Fit would not be where they are today if not with the help of Kevin Samuels at the beginning, because he gave them one of their first viral moments. Let's continue.
The video has gone on far too long, but I wanted to just be able to address it from my perspective.
Thank you very much to, yes, indeed, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Again, the video, Myron Gaines' response to backlash after criticism by Kevin Samuels. Yes, and, you know, he came with He came with facts. He came with names, dates, places, and all such things. So I think, really, laying to rest any sort of assertion by Myron that Kevin Samuels did not help out those that he worked with along the way. And that includes Lead Attorney, that includes Mediocre Tutorial Reviews right here, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and Dennis Sperling, and also Obsidian. Obsidian as well. So again, but we have more proof here in a second video by, yes indeed, one of the devotees of Kevin Samuels, and that is O'Shea Duke Jackson. And he was always hailing up O'Shea Duke Jackson for the work he did. And again, one of the people that he brought up and brought through, and as MTR already mentioned, he was one of part of the editing team that helped out.
It seems like yesterday
when it was
Kevin
earlier.
Samuels
Let's
passed
get
away.
into what O'Shea Duke Jackson had to say with regards to Myron's assertions and misrepresentation. Let's say that. Let's continue.
But in all actuality, it's been almost 3 years since the great legend Kevin Samuels passed away. And still, it doesn't feel like it's actually true. And of course, from time to time, we see mentions of his name, usually in good spirits and in good taste. But of course, there are people who are still jealous of Kevin Samuels and want to go around and spread lies. One of those people is Dr. Sharp. Another one of those people is Fresh and Fit. And really, it's only Myron of Fresh and Fit that still has some issue with Kevin Samuels. You see, Myron hated Kevin Samuels when he was living, going behind his back, talking about his sexuality, calling him the F-bomb. And for those of you who don't know, that was really a big part of the Abba and Preach beef. Kevin Samuels would also be insulted behind the scenes, just like Abba and Preach did after doing the collaboration. And that's what turned Kevin Samuels and Abba and Preach against Fresh and Fit. But then there's this whole situation that Myron has gone viral about, talking about Kevin Samuels.
And I really dislike to even say this, but the truth is the truth, and I kind of have to say
Let's
it.
move on.
The reason why the Black Manosphere died, right? Is simply because Kevin Samuels didn't put his...
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
Yes.
Let me address this whole idea that when Kevin Samuels got on, he didn't put enough people on. That's crazy. Because you know who Kevin Samuels put on the most? Drum roll, please! Fresh and Fit themselves.
Huh? Oh my God!
I've done video about this. And even this guy Marlon, who comments below on Twitter, he says, didn't Kevin bring up Fresh and Fit? Yes, he did. You see, when Fresh and Fit were a struggling podcast and couldn't get any views, want to know who flew out to Miami with their own money? It was Kevin Samuels. And you want to know what Fresh and Fit did? They wanted to compete with Kevin Samuels with his same time slot. You see, Kevin Samuels made Fresh and Fit a lot of money. And to be honest, Kevin Samuels made O'Shea Duke Jackson a lot of money.
So there you go again, ladies and gentlemen. O'Shea Duke Jackson saying himself that Kevin Samuels made him a lot of money. Now, not only through his editing services, but mentioning him in terms of his videos. So again, it was a mutual aid society in terms of O'Shea Duke Jackson and Kevin Samuels. And I knew that when Kevin was alive, he always mentioned O'Shea Duke Jackson in any of his videos. Mentioned his rise. Mentioned the fact that he was in medical school and trying to make himself into the confident, intelligent, assertive man that he knew that he could be. So, yeah, absolutely. And going back to it, to be fair, it is right. Kevin Samuels did give Myron, Fresh, and Fit one of their first viral moments. So, it's true. He helped bring up Fresh and Fit, too. To be fair, yes. Let's continue.
My growth that I had during the time that he was living, I wouldn't have been nearly as good if Kevin Samuels wouldn't have been shouting me out at that time. A lot of the people who know about me now know about me because Kevin Samuels. Now stop the show. That's nice.
Including myself. Let's go.
Saying that I'm not a legendary creator, because as you can see with these views, I got over 300 million. So we're going to just keep it real. Can I get an ooze? having a fight. But I was able to do things for my family because of Kevin Samuels. I will never deny that. And if Kevin Samuels had that impact on me, and to be honest, we never collaborated on his channel because we never needed to. That man never needed to do that because he did enough for me already. But if he collaborated with you, you were going to do well. Just ask Fresh and Fit. And the second point I want to bring up, the Black Manosphere fell off because Kevin Samuels didn't put their people on. I'm going to also call cap on that because the people who put folks into the Black Manosphere was not necessarily Kevin Samuels. It was me. And if anything, Kevin Samuels brought more notoriety and fame to the Black Manosphere than anybody ever did. He did the most for it. How did the Black Manosphere respond? Well, they hated on him. And it's interesting because there was a guy that's actually on the stream with Myron, who I won't name, that had a lot to say about Kevin Samuels when Kevin was living.
And again, that was Angry Man. That was Angry Man. Angry Man was not exactly a fan of Kevin Samuels because he thought that he was stealing his shine, stealing his formula. And so Angry Man and Kevin Samuels never really bang. And the same, later in life, the same can go for Donovan Sharp. But again, that was due to his view on black women. But again, Angry Man was not a fan of Kevin Samuels himself. And that's why you didn't hear him speak up during the telecast of that day, which I watched myself. Let's continue.
As soon as Kevin Samuels died, that guy was singing Kevin Samuels' praises. I'll let you figure it out. A whole bunch of guys turned on Kevin Samuels. A bunch of them, all right? A lot of them. If you really want to be honest about it, a lot of them turned on Kevin. And then what?
Yeah, and then as O'Shea Duke Jackson said, because everybody turned on Kevin Samuels, the Black Manosphere went away. And prominent of those who were part of the Black Manosphere, well, at the time, was Fresh and Fit, to be fair, because they were trying to aggrandize themselves through the through the success of Kevin Samuels. So, touche, Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson, touche. He's absolutely right about that. Very, very true on that point. Let's continue.
Kevin died, but all of a sudden, they're going to act like we didn't know. See, a lot of people were jealous of Kevin Samuels' success in the Black Manosphere. We're going to be honest, okay? A lot of people. Let me give you an example. There was a time where Kevin Samuels, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, and the lead attorney, and Dennis Sperling all met up in New York City. There was a guy in the Black Manosphere, very popular guy, I don't want to bring up his name, was upset because Kevin Samuels didn't invite him. And again, this is another guy that Kevin Samuels shouted out, and he got a whole bunch of book sales. He made a lot of money on Amazon. He didn't give Kevin Samuels any money, but he was upset because he wasn't there. Kevin didn't owe the Black Manosphere anything. Yeah, it was the community that he came up in, but he didn't owe the Black Manosphere anything. He did enough for it when he was living. But in Black...
That person was Donovan Sharp. Just to let you know.
At Manosphere fashion, at the time,
just to let you know,
many of the content creators dropped the ball. It wasn't his fault. A lot of guys who were cool with Kevin Samuels when he was not doing well and was struggling, they got upset when Kevin got to fame. Because Kevin, quote unquote, stole my ideas, or Kevin Samuels stole my talking points. Now, I'll be honest, there was a time that Kevin Samuels took some verbiage from Tommy Sotomayor, and I believe from other creators, and kind of mixed it around, and, didn't give a person a shout out for doing what they were doing. But that was few and far in between. Now, should he have done something like that? Of course. But, hey, if they were not cool at the time because you insulted him, he wouldn't do that. You want to know the reason why the Black Manosphere fell apart? It had nothing to do with Kevin Samuels. Kevin put everybody on notice. All of the people that Kevin used to shout out all the time were getting subscribers and were getting new people. Want to know who destroyed the Black Manosphere? Black men destroyed the Black Manosphere. Because you want to know why? We couldn't get along. That's the God's honest truth.
Very good point raised there by O'Shea Duke Jackson. The Black Manosphere ended because it was a crabs in the bucket sort of space. In that if one man got ahead, nobody was allowed to get ahead, because if one man got ahead, everybody would be hating on him, and so would end the movement. And it's unfortunate that things had to end that way, and people such as Donovan Sharp, such as Tommy Sotomayor, such as and Fresh and Fit had to speak badly on his name, and Angry Man as well. All prominent members of the Black Manosphere And yeah, it was through, as O'Shea was saying, through that jealousy that allegedly it was the end of the manosphere, Black Manosphere. And but again, O'Shea Du Jackson was a prominent member of that. So if he says that is the way it is, I gotta take his word as gospel. Let's continue.
There was a time in like 2016 where Crystal and Karen tried to get everybody in the Black Manosphere shut down. Kevin wasn't one of those creators, but I was one of them. Other guys were one of them. There was this infamous hit list. And of course, it didn't work. A few people lost their channels, but they were able to come back. I almost lost my channel and was able to come back. I didn't lose it, but I almost did. And I just want to say, once we were able to get over the Chris and Karen thing, we started fighting each other. I'm not gonna lie, I started fighting with people. I had a really big beef with people. Want to be real? It's true. I definitely didn't do the best things that I could do. I made some mistakes myself. So we dropped the ball. And eventually, I left the Black Manosphere for the same reasons that Kevin Samuels did, because it stopped being about what we wanted it to be about. You know, I worked with a lot of creators in the Black Manosphere, and I'm not perfect. But, you know, again, it became for like begging for super chats. It became like begging for cash apps. It just wasn't as much about black men as it was before, and it wasn't really productive. And there was just a whole bunch of guys fighting, and I left it. And then once I left it for the very same reasons that he left it, I left it a little bit later. Hey, the Black Manosphere guys died on their own. Or died on its own. Some guys got deplatformed and never came back. And, you know, we all had different motives. The one thing that the Black Manosphere just had in common was just calling out black female issues and problems with black women, but there was really no plan about working with black men or working with black people. And that was just something that Kevin wanted to do. It was something that we wanted to do. We didn't hate our people. I mean, we used to roast the women and things like that, but the Black Manosphere failed because of black men. We ruined the Black Manosphere as a group. Black men ruined it. Kevin.
It's, again, a big revelation there by O'Shea Du Jackson, who was an integral part of the Black Manosphere, and quite candid thoughts there by O'Shea. He didn't have to reveal it as such, but again, he thought that black men ruined the Black Manosphere, and I would believe it because of jealousy and infighting within the movement itself, and you know, it cannibalized itself, quite simply. And yeah, and soon as O'Shea was saying, people were deplatformed, people were demonetized, and the movement quickly ended as Kevin Samuels passed away. But I believe that if Kevin Samuels was still here today, well, he did leave the Black Manosphere as stated. But again, it was through Kevin Samuels blowing up and being part of the mainstream. That is the reason why, indeed, the Black Manosphere ended, because of jealousy. Simple as. Let's continue.
Kevin Samuels put everybody on when he got successful. When Kevin Samuels got successful, everybody looked for the Black Manosphere guys. Even the women became Black Manosphere creators. You know what I mean? Everybody knew us at that time. So how did he not put us on?
Oh yeah, including Melanie King. She was very much a black Melanie King, and to a certain extent Tasha K, but definitely Melanie King was a devotee of the Black Manosphere. Now she does tabloid stuff, but she's more of a conservative, you know, a traditional conservative speaker, and platform. But again, Melanie King was very, very much a female form of the Black Manosphere. Let's continue.
He put everybody on. Everybody got more attention because of Kevin Samuels, and that attention that the Black Manosphere got at the time would have never gotten it if Kevin didn't go viral. And we just didn't do enough with it. Now, some guys like myself, I benefited, true, but Myron doesn't know what he's talking about. Myron wants to act like he is doing the right thing. He put people on. But he's the same person when you put Myron on, he calls you the F-bomb, the F word that rhymes with maggot behind your back. He throws people under the bus. Just ask all the YouTube creators that don't deal with them anymore. Oh, well, I put on these people and Donovan put on. How can you insult somebody and lie on somebody when they pass away? Because you're a fraud, that's why. And that's why nobody likes you anyway. The thing is, Myron still hates Kevin Samuels. to this day. The only reason why he can't go out on Kevin Samuels like he would the other people is because he would get too much backlash. But he wants to call Kevin Samuels all kinds of names. He hates Kevin Samuels. And he wants to say that the reason why Kevin Samuels didn't like him is because Alvin preached. No, Kevin Samuels didn't like you because you were a B. Yeah!
Wow. Wow. So again, not as surgical as MTR in his explanation, but again, yeah, he's entitled to his opinion, and it's clear that Myron did not have a lot of friends in the Black Manosphere, did not rock with a lot of Black Manosphere content creators, including the lead attorney, with whom he tried to slap a copyright strike against the lead attorney and try to get his channel banned, quite simply. So he has had running feuds against lead attorney was able to adeptly move around those things because he is attorney himself. So he didn't have to suffer the indignity of having his platform deplatformed by the likes of Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit. But it was Myron has gone out of his way to try to have many channels deplatformed, including OCG Jackson, including Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. Not so much OCG Jackson, including the lead attorney, including other channels as well, and Aberrant Preach, who he has a huge dislike for. He does not like Aberrant Preach at all, and Aberrant Preach are reciprocal in their hate. So again, he's Myron has a lot of enemies. I do like his platform. I do like what he has to say, but he does have a lot of enemies out there, and that is because of his how he allegedly treated people, and also the fact that the way he treats women, is not as refined as Kevin Samuels is. To be fair, let's continue.
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again.
Thank you very much, O'Shea Duke Jackson, for that, and we're going to end it there with that video, and we're going to come to a conclusion here because again we've gone up just about an hour. Yeah, just over an hour, so I think that will end it right there. So let's go back to the full cam and just give a synopsis of things here. A nice, short, and sweet video, to be fair and frank indeed. I like. Here's my take on things. I like what Fresh and Fit have to say. I like the platform. I am a member of Castle Club myself, but listen, I'll always be a devotee. I will always have a special place in my heart for the Godfather. That is Fresh and Fit. He is the reason why I moved into the Black Manosphere, into the Red Pill, into the Manosphere, Red Pill, Black Manosphere space, and he's the reason why I started watching Fresh and Fit. He's the reason why I started watching Aberrant Preach. He's the reason why I started watching Lead Attorney. He's the reason why I started watching MTR. He's the reason why I started watching Dennis Burley. He's the reason why I started watching O'Shea Duke Jackson. And let it be said that Kevin did bring up those that he considered confidants, friends, acquaintances, colleagues on the YouTube platforms, and what Myron has to say is indeed a lie. It's not. It's a mistruth. It is a misrepresentation of what Kevin did during his life, which was trying to bring these content creators along, and also collaborating with them on many an occasion, including Fresh and Fit, for which they received one of their first viral videos with the help of Kevin Samuels. So let it be said that Myron is speaking a mistruth here. It's unfortunate he did that about a man like Kevin Samuels, and after he was dead, and did it on such a level that that he would get this backlash. But he is deserving of it because what he said was not true at all. and you had the people to prove it, quite simply. And it's the Godfather is the Godfather for a reason, and he's still monetized to this day. He's still up to about 1.6 million subscribers, still monetized, still earning money through his videos. Many people have taken his videos and used it again and again and again. I think to multiple levels higher than they do Fresh and Fit, and it's because he was a great showman. He was a great debater. He was a great orator, and he had a charisma and a je ne sais quoi that everybody that appealed to everyone, and was appealing to women upon his death. And I really wish that he was still here to this day. He's one man I would wish to have back here, because he could do so much for bringing black people together, because that was his only thing. He wanted to bring families. He wanted to fight for the blue collar worker. He wanted to fight for black families and their beginnings. He brought forward a group in which black professionals, black confident, intelligent, assertive black men, and beautiful, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational women would come together and try to make a go of this life in this world together. And for that, I am eternally grateful and thankful that I was here to witness it myself. And may I say that Kevin was a man who did help others. He was a man who brought forward many different content creators. Lead attorney Obsidian, O'Shea Jackson, the lead attorney Dennis Sperling, and many, many others. And for that, we will be eternally grateful. And for that, I will never, ever speak ill of him in life or in death. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing a pretty serious topic. And that is the likes of Rogers Communications and Edward Rogers, and I'm making a serious accusation of this man, and I will have documented proof to prove it. And so listen up for that on Talk Live tomorrow night, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Very good show tonight. Thank you very much for your participation. And I will soon have a Talk Live minute up and running very, very soon. But that is it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with that topic on Rogers Communications and Edward Rogers, and what I think of him, especially after the last days and weeks within the sports world. And I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live. And we'll be back tomorrow night, and look forward to seeing you then. And good night from Toronto, and be safe out there. A little more snow is coming our way, so again, be careful, or maybe sunny, but again, a lot of snow out there. So be careful while you're driving and walking, and look out for each other. And good night from Toronto on IG. Thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG, YouTube. We're going to end our YouTube video here. We're going to have a Talk Live minute on this subject coming up very, very shortly. So do look for that. And we'll have another subject as discussed on Rogers Communications and what I feel about its owner, Edward Rogers, who took over for Ted Rogers. But again, I'll leave that to tomorrow. Not exact.